Good afternoon. This is Robert Weichelt, NADP Collaboration Committee Co-Chair, reaching out to a good buddy, Erik, board member, very active in the committees. So let's get right into it. Erik, who's Erik?
Well, I'm a real estate broker. I started practicing about 35 years ago. I was in college and decided to try and dip my foot into it, and I ended up loving it so much I went full time. And gosh, that was in 1987. In about 92, I was working in Merrill Lynch. A guy across the hallway from me was doing REO, and that looked pretty appealing to me. So I started doing REO in 92. And
Wow.
that's where it started.
The glue stick era, I call it.
Yeah, right. That's what it was. All
Doing
those
those
BPOs.
BPOs are about this thick,
Yeah.
running to the 1 hour photo, rushing back to the office, glue sticking those photos on the
Yep.
BPO. Did plenty of those myself, and
Yeah.
rushing down to FedEx to get them out on the deadline before they took
Yeah.
off. And wow, we've come a long way
We sure
in
have.
that space for sure. So
Yeah, we sure have.
you've been doing this quite a long time. So tell
Mhm.
us what led you to NADP.
In the last cycle, probably in 04, 05, I was a friend of mine kind of turned me on to NADP, which was RIAMAC at that time, and invited me to a dinner meeting, and it was very educational. And so I applied, and obviously it was different to get involved at that point, but I was really, really, really excited. And I think in 2007, I finally got approved with RIAMAC, and I love that organization. It's always been a collaboration organization where you have people sitting down, sharing ideas, and you'll be sitting next to a big broker or a small broker or a big servicer or what have you. And it's just everybody's just sharing. And I love that about that organization.
The collaboration is certainly top
Mhm.
notch. We just finished with Summit in
Yep.
Arizona, and it was a great seeing everybody. We had a lot of great speakers and panels and education and networking, and
Yep.
it's like going to a family reunion or a
Yeah.
high school reunion. You see all your friends that are in the same space as you, and it's just really a nice group of folks. That's for sure.
It is.
So tell us this. We have you're involved in some committees. Why don't you tell
Yep.
us a little bit about your committee work?
Yeah. So one of my just all-time favorite mentors, Donna, had gotten me into this committee, and she said, if you're interested in doing work to help others, this is where we really could use you. And so, not really knowing too much, I kind of jumped in and began to work on the advocacy and legislation committee, and it became thrilling for me. I often say it is the most unsexy committee in our group because reading lengthy legislation is sometimes can put you to sleep. But the most important thing that we do is we bring to our members a lot of times things that they weren't aware of. And so that gives me great happiness when I can put a bill out to the members and I can say, hey, I don't know if you're aware of this, but this potential legislation is coming down the road and we really need to get mobilized about it. So that's where Donna and I roll up our sleeves and we try and advocate for that.
And you know what? I'm involved, and I get a lot of the responses and some of the bills that
Yeah,
are affecting our industry, and it's an eye opener. So many agents don't know
right.
what's going on behind the scenes that's affecting our industry,
Yeah,
and this is certainly a very powerful committee. It may not be sexy, but I tell you, it's powerful, and it's so important because we
it
need
is.
advocacy for our to keep our industry going in the right direction. So
Yeah,
I appreciate all your work you do with that.
thank you.
What's the message we want to say to maybe a member that was
Yeah,
maybe a member back in the last cycle?
yeah.
Maybe he's not a member now. What do we want to say to those folks regarding NADP now?
I think now more than ever, it's a great time to jump in and become a member because this cycle is going to be so different and so unique that I think the collaboration that you're going to feel and you're going to learn at NADP is going to be tantamount to success. First of all, you're going to get connected with some folks you probably weren't connected with before. Second of all, you're going to learn how to do business in today's day and age. And you're going to hear and feel from our real world members what they're experiencing. Some of the servicers will speak about what's going on in their life, and that's just great access.
You know what? It certainly helps the agents be more well-rounded and
Mhm.
more in tune to as the environment starts to shift. It really gives us agents for particular, but there's many members, there's servicers, there's asset managers, there's attorneys, there's so many folks that are involved in the default space. It's really it's if you're not in it, you just don't know what's going on. And it's
Right.
almost like watching something happen and you just have no idea what's going on. So getting involved is key.
It
What do
is.
you want to say to the agent that is thinking of getting into this industry? And what's the message we want to say to somebody that's maybe getting involved for the first time?
Well, I think the most important thing that maybe I could share would be to learn, understanding what a client wants, understanding what your peers are doing, understanding how to do things legally correct, understanding how to get ahead in the world in the REO space. You get all that at NADP. You really get access to just a wide amount of information.
So whether you're just brand new starting out in the business or a seasoned veteran,
Yep.
this is a great place to come and get educated on the industry
Yep.
because there's a lot of moving parts. So it's, the webinars, the conferences, the dinners, the summits, there's so many educational components to what NADP has to offer. And it's
Yep.
certainly an eye opener, for me personally, because it just really introduces you what's going on in a whole different light. So
It is.
Eric, in closing, what would you like to say? Anything else that we maybe didn't cover that you'd like to say before we say goodbye today?
I would love to invite anyone to join my committee personally. I think that once you got involved, you'll realize that it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican. Honestly, the bills that are coming down and the legislation that's happening in our universe, again, doesn't matter which party you're a member of, it affects us as business people. And I would really encourage you to just call, let's have a chat, get involved. The more you're involved, the more you will get out of this.
Absolutely. Well said. And you heard it here first, guys. Erik, I tell you, advocacy committee co-chair, broker owner of your own company, board member. I just appreciate everything you do. And it's been a great pleasure speaking to you today. Thank you for your time, and we'll talk soon, my friend.
Sounds good. Thank you.